Hey, we got one. We're off the schneid.
Look at us. Hey, look at us.
Look at us.
Things did not go well for a while. And it was hard to see. It's just nice to win one.
A winning week. Should have been better, but we'll take it. Let's keep it rolling. Week 4, an ice cold 6-pack. Roll the open. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Uncle Dan's Best Bets here on the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel located in the beautiful Connors and Ferris Buffalo Plus podcast studio. Please be sure, as always, to like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate it, as always, approaching in on 41,000 subscribers. And I know we're continuing to grow it here with Uncle Dan's Best Bets and our little network of friends. Basil, Dwayne, my neighbor, says he watches. Basil, all of the people that follow along, really appreciate it as always. And we appreciate our sponsor here for Uncle Dan's Best Bets, Bob Johnson Auto Group. Talk about it all the time, but it's worth repeating. If you're looking to buy, sell, lease, trade, whatever you need, Bob Johnson Auto Group, they are the best. My wife and I, family, have worked with Daryl out in Leroy plenty of times. So if you're looking for anything that you need, buying, selling, leasing, trading in your car, shout out to Bob Johnson Auto Group. Go ahead, tell them that Uncle Dan sent you. Okay, so let's take a little bit of a look back to week 3. Good-ish. Okay, a winning week. 5-4 now last week on the season. Still 4 games under 500. Nothing to brag about. 11-15 on the season. Should have been much better. Nailed the Bills Thursday night game. Nailed it. Told you the Dolphins defense was really bad. They were. We hit 4 out of 5 in that Bills game, so improving my Bills record for that. But gross on Sunday. Gross. New England turns the ball over, fumbles twice inside of the 2-yard line. That was a pillow fight. We lost points in that game. Should have been much closer to hitting the over in that Steelers-Patriots game. The Packers led by 10 with 4 minutes to go. They end up losing. Falcons no-showed. Was right on the points, though, in Philly and the Rams game in that one. But again, we move on. We're starting to see the ball a little bit better. That's what I like to see. Okay? We hit some plays, had a winning week, 5-4, but we move forward. Again, you're only as good as your last performance. So we're not going to sit here and rest on our laurels. We need to be better. We need to have winning weeks. That is what Uncle Dan does. So here we go. This week, how about an ice cold 6-pack? Plays may be added later. If they are, follow me on social media, on X, Twitter, at Dan Fates. We may be adding some plays, but I really like these 6 plays. It's partly because we have blacklisted some teams. Okay, maybe I would like Denver on Monday night, blacklisted. Falcons, blacklisted. Can't play them right now. Can't bet them. Can't win with them. Won't do it. But again, please be sure, as always, I do follow the comments. I do see all of them. And for everybody that's following along, really appreciate it as always. But here we go. 6 plays on these fancy cards. Appreciate it as always. First play, bright and early. I think the game's in Ireland. It's international. Vikings -2.5 versus the Steelers. I think the Steelers stink. I was on it last week. I think their defense is really bad. I don't care who's at quarterback. I think that opposing team, whoever is facing the Steelers defense, is going to put up some points. The Patriots took points off the board. They shot themselves in the foot, 5 turnovers. I don't think that's some amazing moment for the Steelers defense where they're going, oh, we figured it out. I think the Patriots offense is got problems, especially in the offensive line. So I'm not, oh, look at what TJ Watt had. He had 2 sacks. I think that's more of an indictment, transitive property, that the Patriots offensive line is bad. I don't think they're as good as only holding New England, who's not a very good offense, to 14 points. Vikings are good. Not only that, the Vikings defense is very, very good. So in that case, I think their defense stifles Aaron Rodgers and this limited Steelers offense. So I only got to lay 2.5 points. Vikings can win by a field goal. I like that a lot. I'll take Minnesota minus the small number to beat the Steelers. Next game. Baker Mayfield is not getting enough love. I will take the Bucs plus 3.5 at home facing the Eagles. And there's two key stats why. Why, Dan, do you ask? Yeah, I do some research. I do some research into these games, quite a bit, actually. I'm here to try and win us some money. I'm not just there are some plays, I'll take that back. There are some plays that I just throw a dart at times. Sometimes it's a feeling. This one's got stats to back it up. Baker Mayfield, 15-7 against the spread in his career as an underdog. That's pretty good. Okay. Not only that, here's the interesting one. Eagles looked terrible. They've really only played like one half of really good football. They were pretty good in the Cowboys game. They were really good in that second half last week. But teams coming off 14-point or more comeback wins over the last decade are 54, 72, and 1 against the spread the following week. That's 43%. So this is a trend of Baker as a dog, which we like. And not only that, we're also liking the fact of the Eagles coming off a big comeback win. Historically, over the last decade, those teams have kind of fallen off a little bit. So Bucs plus 3.5. Also, the Bucs just always seem to beat the Eagles. I have big questions about what this Bucs offensive line is. No Mike Evans. I understand the concern, but Baker's a dog, and I think they keep this game close. I will take the small points in that one. Next up, Colts, Rams, under. Almost knocked the mic over. Under 50.5. Too many points. I am not buying this hype. Don't listen to what Mike Catalana says on the League podcast over here on the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel. Like, comment, subscribe. Again, really appreciate it. The Colts have played Tennessee, Denver, and Miami. I don't think any of those are really good defenses. The Rams have a really good defense. Don't overlook the fact that the Rams defense held Jalen Hurts and this Eagles offense to -1 passing yards in the first half of that game and really held Saquon Barkley in check. A.J. Brown went off in the second half. Things snowballed, got away from them. That doesn't take away from the fact that the Rams have a really good defense. I think they're going to be able to shut down Jonathan Taylor. And this is just too many points. The Colts defense may be frisky and be able to have some life in this one. I just think 50.5 points is way too many points in this one. I can see this being a 20-24 game, that somewhere in that range. 50 just seems too much for a Colts offense that I just don't think is good as what their numbers show. Again, Tennessee, Denver, and Miami. So I think this is their first real test. I think the Rams win the game outright. Obviously, they're at home. I just think this is too many points in that spot. I still have 3 more plays, okay, including a Bills one. Like I said, ice cold 6-pack. Bears, team total over 23.5 points. They are at the Las Vegas Raiders. I really do think that something clicked last week for Caleb Williams and the Bears. I think they had a little bit of this screw it. Ben Johnson finally opening up the playbook, getting tricky, and it's a confidence booster for Caleb Williams. I don't think the Raiders defense is all that good. They gave up 41 points last week against a backup for the Commanders offense. Obviously, there were some special teams issues to go in there. But even when the Bears were struggling and they lost their first 2 games and it seemed like the sky was falling in Chicago, they still scored 24 and 21 points. And then they scored 31. So I don't think 23.5 points, 3 touchdowns and a field goal, I don't think is crazy for a team that still has a ton of weapons and a quarterback that maybe now has a little bit of confidence and a head coach that finally gets that win, much like Uncle Dan did last week, gets off the schneid and maybe gets things rolling. So I like this offense. I like what they can possibly be doing. I've been high on the Bears this year, but I'll take the team total for Chicago over 23.5. They're averaging over around that mark for the season. And I don't think the Raiders defense is as vaunted as I don't know if anybody thought they were. I think people thought, myself included, maybe a little bit more friskier earlier this year. I don't think they really have that in them. 2 more plays. We'll go Monday night. There's the doubleheader again. And then I have a Bills play. My Monday night play. How about this for you? Jets, Dolphins over 44.5. This seems to be a common number, and we've been pretty good at betting the over on it. I'm not sure if I like either of these offenses really. I liked what Tua kind of showed, but again, the Bills defense is having their own issues. But over 44.5. The Dolphins have allowed 30 plus points in their first 3 games. Okay. Bad defense. The Jets have allowed at least 29 points in all 3 of their games. Bad. So these are some trends that I don't think I think these offenses are okay. I'm not sure if Justin Fields is back. Tyrod Taylor's been fine. But I just think these are really bad defenses. Bad defense plus bad defense equals over, in my opinion. So I will take the over 44.5 in that spot. I like that it's in Miami. Dolphins usually play better for the most part at home. I think the Colts game was at home. But besides that, bad defenses. Offenses can actually get something going. Bad defenses equals points. And finally, let's stay hot with our Bills picks. Okay. Coming off a 4-1 week where we nailed it. I may be adding some player props. So be sure to, like I said, follow me on social media. Those plays could be added before the Sunday 1 o'clock. But it's tough right now when I have some nerves about this game. It's a big point spread. I don't know. This game could get completely blown out. And then starters are out of the game. Josh Allen's not playing the whole fourth quarter, trying to balance how many yards is James Cook going to have. The Saints running defense has been okay. James Cook's prop for his rushing yards, I saw was like 77.5. That felt a little high. Again, trying to navigate all of that. The one play I really like, and here's some numbers for you. Bills minus 3.5 first quarter versus the Saints. Oh, you want to know why? Okay. I'll feed you, baby bird. Okay. The Saints have not scored in the first quarter this entire season. They have been shut out in all 3 first quarters they have played. The Bills, on the other hand, have scored on 5 out of their 6 first quarter possessions. They scored opening drives on touchdowns on every single drive so far this season. That is Joe Brady. That is scripted plays. That is being well coached. After that, it's making adjustments. But scripted plays off the bat, they scored on their opening drive against Baltimore. They scored on their opening drive against the Jets, forced the turnover, kicked the field goal, and they scored on their first 2 drives against Miami. Or they only had 1 drive in that first quarter against Miami. They scored a touchdown. 5 out of 6. Touchdown. Yeah, 5 out of 6. So, or 4 out of 6. You get what I'm saying. I looked it up. I wrote it down. Now I'm questioning it. But the Bills have scored on opening drive touchdowns, I know for a fact, on every single game so far this season. Saints haven't scored. So I like the Bills to kind of get off to the start, even if the coin toss is going to be impactful, for as crazy as that sounds. But I like the way the Bills have come out in every game, and the Saints have yet to score a point in the first quarter. That's coaching. Saints not very well coached so far this year. Kellen Moore still trying to figure it out. Bills well coached. So that's the 6-pack. Vikings minus 2.5, Bucs plus 3.5, Colts Rams under 50.5, Bears team total over 23.5, Jets Dolphins over 44.5, and Bills minus 3.5 in the first quarter against the Saints. I'm going to be honest with you. That's probably my favorite play and will probably be my biggest play. That might be a 2-unit play for you. So we won last week. Let's build off of it. Let's get the ball rolling. We're starting to see the ball well. Let's keep that going. Appreciate it. As always, if you can, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let people know and comment in with what your favorite plays are for this week. Appreciate Bob Johnson, as always, for sponsoring Uncle Dan's Best Bets. Want to hear from you. Let's win some money. Let's keep it going. Appreciate it, as always. Best of luck to your bets. We'll see you here next week on the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel.